Hello class, my name is Venkatesh Gupta. I'm an 8th faculty of MBA International Schools of Madurai. In today's lecture, we'll discuss about the hypothalamus pituitary axis. It's a very important concepts in a NEET exam. Right? About pituitary gland, we already done some videos, and today we're going to discuss about the hypothalamus pituitary axis. That means how exactly the pituitary gland is connected to the hypothalamus, and what are the basic connections inside, and what are the hormones which are released from the hypothalamus to pituitary gland to stimulate and to release the particular responsible hormones into various parts of the body. That everything we are going to discuss, right? And the basic idea of the pituitary gland, we already know that. That means location of the pituitary gland and the origin of the pituitary gland, and that means size, measure, everything about the pituitary gland we are completed. And we already know the basic location. That means it is located, it's hanging from the hypothalamus, right? If you see, right? If you see, for example, this is your hypothalamus, right? The base of the hypothalamus, and from this hypothalamus, there is a stalk-like structure usually arises. This particular stalk is called infundibulum, right? This infundibulum is connected to your pituitary gland, and pituitary gland is a bilobed structure. Generally, it is a bilobed structure. It contains two lobes, right? The posterior pituitary gland and as well as the anterior pituitary gland. This is what our posterior pituitary gland. It is also called as neurohypophysis. It is also called neurohypophysis, right? Posterior pituitary gland. It's the posterior pituitary gland, and the other one, the larger one here, it is called anterior pituitary gland, also called adenohypophysis. Adenohypophysis, right? Or anterior pituitary gland, right? Generally it's a bilobed structure, right? This pituitary gland, it is hanging from the hypothalamus. This particular structure over here, this is called hypothalamus, right? This hypothalamus is connected to the pituitary gland with the help of a stalk-like structure, right? Pituitary gland only, it is hanging from the hypothalamus. This stalk-like structure is called infundibulum. And the basic structure, it is called hypothalamus. It's a very important structure, right? Yeah. And what's the concept today is, right? Today's concept is what hypothalamus pituitary axis. That means how exactly the both are connected, and how they are coordinated each other. That means how they are releasing hormone. Everything we are going to see. And in the central nervous system, we are called the word nucleus, right? Nuclei or nucleus. Generally, we have cellular nucleus, but this is different with that, right? In central nervous system, what we call as a nucleus. Nucleus is nothing but a group of cell bodies, right? Millions of neurons, right? Millions of neurons are collectively form the brain or any type of nervous system like central nervous system, right? Here, the nucleus. What exactly the nucleus means? The group of collection of cell bodies at one place. You call it as nucleus. There are various type of nucleus are present in the cerebrum as well as in the hypothalamus region, but very few important nucleus we are going to discuss, right? So here some nucleus is there. For example, say this is what a nucleus. Nucleus means here it's not one neuron. It's not a one neuron. It's not a single neuron. A group of neurons, group of cell bodies attached to form a nucleus, right? And this is what the tract. What is meant by tract? It's a group of axons. A bundle of axons, you call it as tract, and this is what the synaptic nerve, that like a neuron. But it is what is a group of cell bodies is called as nucleus, and a group of a bundle of axons, you can call it as a tract, right? This particular nucleus is called supraoptic nucleus. Right? Supraoptic nucleus. There are various types of nuclei present, right? We are I'll write on the board. The first one is what? Supraoptic nucleus. After supraoptic nucleus, we will find some more nucleus over here, right? This is what your paraventricular nucleus. Okay, this is what the paraventricular nucleus, and one more nucleus we can see here, right? And this is a rough structure, and this is also your paraventricular nucleus. The first one is what? The supraoptic. I'm writing here the number one supraoptic nucleus. This both, right? Generally, it's like a connective both are connected. A bundle of axons are connected. This particular nucleus, these both are paraventricular nucleus. I'm writing here paraventricular nuclei. Paraventricular nuclei. Now, right now we are discussing about the nuclei, right? The first one is supraoptic, the second one is about the paraventricular type. We'll also find some other type of nucleus as well in the hypothalamus region. What are those? One more structure would like this. This is what preoptic. Preoptica, right? This is what the preoptic, and the other one also there. This particular nucleus is what the arcuate nucleus, arcuate nucleus. Fine. Once again, what here are written. There are various type of nuclei are located. Various type of nucleus are located in the hypothalamus region. They send their tracks into the neurohypophysis or adenohypophysis regions. Generally, the first one is supraoptic nucleus, which one is appeared here, right? This is what the supraoptic nucleus, and the second, the supraoptic nucleus followed by the paraventricular nuclei. This particular here and here also one, and the third one here about the preoptic nucleus. This is what the preoptic nucleus. In the last I have drawn the diagram about arcuate nucleus, arcuate, right? Fine, and fine. We are discussed about the nucleus and what they are doing. That means how exactly the pituitary gland. Here you can take anterior as well as posterior, that means neurohypophysis and adenohypophysis, how they are releasing various type of hormones, right? That is what we are going to discuss here. We will talk about the neurohypophysis. Neurohypophysis generally, it do not contain any portal system. That means it do not contain any blood vascular system, right? So the hormones are directly released into the blood, even though it do not contain any blood vessels, right? But here, unlike in the adenohypophysis, here we will find some portal system, some sort of portal system. Compulsory blood vascular system is present in the adenohypophysis. It's completely neural tissue. It's about the neural tissue. Neurohypophysis contain neural tissue, where it's contain the portal system. That you just remember. Right. The first one, supraoptic nucleus. What is the function of supraoptic nucleus? This particular supraoptic nucleus, it is generally releases a hormone. We are already familiar with that hormone. The hormone name is ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone, ADH, sometimes also referred to as called as vasopressin. Vasopressin. We already know that in the chalk excretion we discussed, right? What is the function? What vasopressin is responsible for? Right? The vasopressin or ADH generally releases from supraoptic nucleus. This particular nucleus, supraoptic nucleus, right? The particular nucleus will releases this ADH, and moreover, this vasopressin or the ADH hormone is pre-synthesized in the synaptic nerve. Already synthesized in the synaptic nerve. That is ready to release, ready to secrete. But that releasing, it depends upon the action potential that is required to generate from the supraoptic nucleus. Very simple. Here, what the thing is, actually, this first one is the supraoptic nucleus. This particular supraoptic nucleus releases vasopressin. From where it is releases? It is released from the synaptic nerve, right? It is already pre-synthesized in the synaptic nerve, but without any action potential, without any stimulus, it will not be releases, right? To release the vasopressin, we require action potential. That action potential is generated from the supraoptic nucleus, right? Therefore, supraoptic nucleus sends action potential. It generates and sends action potential. Those action potential running down to the tract and finally reaches the synaptic nerve. Then the hormone releases. But the question is that how action potentials are generated. That means what causes the generation of action potential in the supraoptic nucleus. It's dependent upon some factors, right? Some of the factors are required to generate the action potential. Whenever the action potential generated in the supraoptic nucleus, these action potential running down towards the synaptic nerve, then it releases the vasopressin hormone. Right. Now we'll see what are the factors. Blood pressure or blood value. One of the things is blood volume. Low blood value. We require low blood value or low BP. Whenever our body feels low BP, right? So the action potential is generated in the supraoptic. Along with the low BP, we required plasma osmolality. Plasma osmolality. This is the second most factor, one of the factor. Plasma osmolality. What is meant by plasma osmolality? Plasma osmolality means plasma osmolality means the content, that means the amount of electrolytes which are present in the plasma, right? Amount of electrolytes which are present in the plasma is called plasma osmolality. And the third factor is pain, right? Pain is also one of the factor of to generate, one of the factor for generation of action potential in the supraoptic nucleus. This is all about the supraoptic nucleus. Very simple, right? So what it releases vasopressin hormone, or it releases ADH hormone, right? The first nucleus we discussed, that is what the supraoptic nucleus. Supraoptic nucleus releases vasopressin or ADH. It requires the action potential. This action potential should be coming from the supraoptic nucleus when whenever exposed to some factors like low blood pressure or plasmolality or pain. Fine. Then next we are move on to the next nucleus. We can see these two nucleus over here. There is paraventricular nuclei. What are the paraventricular nuclei? These two paraventricular nuclei releases another type of hormone called, it is also familiar, this is called oxytocin. It is called oxytocin, the hormone called oxytocin, right? The oxytocin is also pre-synthesized in the synaptic knobs of paraventricular nucleus, but it not releases. To releasing that hormone oxytocin, it requires the action potential, right? So action potential is generally required for any type of synaptic knobs to release that particular hormone. Here also the oxytocin is pre-synthesized in the regions of synaptic knobs of the paraventricular nucleus, right? And whenever the action potential generated in the paraventricular nucleus, those action potentials are running down and releases this particular oxytocin hormone. Then what are the factors we require to generate the action potentials in the paraventricular nucleus? Or birthing process. I'm writing here birthing process. Or you can say suckling, or ejaculation. These are the factors which responsible for creation or generation of action potential in the paraventricular nucleus. So birthing process, generally what at the time of birth this hormone releases. At the same time, suckling, the mammary glands of the mother suckled by the babies when the time of feeding, then also this type of hormone releases, and ejaculation at the time of male ejaculation, right? So seminal ejaculation, then also what the hormone releases, the oxytocin hormone releases. These are the factors of releasing of oxytocin, right? So far we have completed about the neurohypophysis. That means here what the supraoptic nucleus as well as the paraventricular nucleus, they both releases the hormones like ADH and oxytocin into the neurohypophysis. That means into the posterior pituitary gland. Now we will discuss what type of hormones are released into the regions of adenohypophysis. That means into the anterior pituitary gland. So far we discussed about supraoptic completed and paraventricular also completed. Now we will discuss about other type of nucleus and what they are do. Here supraoptic released ADH, here paraventricular released oxytocin into the neurohypophysis. How they are released? They required action potential. How action potentials are generated in there? Different types of factors will allow different type of factors are responsible for generation of action potential. Fine. And what are other type of nucleus? We have here preoptic nucleus, we have arcuate nucleus, and one more. Here we have two paraventricular nucleus, right? So here also again paraventricular nucleus is there. This particular paraventricular nucleus also releases hormones into adenohypophysis, although it releases the oxytocin into the neurohypophysis. That means here the paraventricular, this particular nucleus releases oxytocin into neurohypophysis, and it is also released some more other type of hormones into the adenohypophysis, right? So we are going to discuss about the paraventricular, preoptic and arcuate. Okay, I already told you that the neurohypophysis, this particular lobe of the pituitary gland, do not contain any blood vessels. It do not contain any vascular system, right? But although here what, unlike the neurohypophysis, the adenohypophysis, which contain a particular portal system, that means it required a blood circulatory system. Okay, obviously here it is the portal system. So think like this is the blood vessel, it's a portal system, it's a portal vein system. And here, listen to me, what I told you, this supraoptic nucleus, This particular part is the nucleus. This particular part is the nucleus. This particular part is the nucleus. And what you call these structures, the long, they are running down into the hypophysis. These are called tract. They are called tract. This is nucleus, tract. Nucleus, tract. This is also nucleus, and this is a tract. Here, this is supraoptic nucleus. This is supraoptic tract. This paraventricular nucleus. These are the tracts of paraventricular nucleus. But here, what happened? These two, here supraoptic nucleus as well as the paraventricular nucleus, their tracts are collectively called, here we can see the tracts of supraoptic and tract of paraventricular, collectively called hypothalamic. I am writing here hypothalamic hypophyseal tract. Very simple. Tract of supraoptic, tract of paraventricular, together called hypothalamic, because they are originated from the hypothalamus and coming into hypophysis, right? This collectively called hypothalamic hypophyseal tract, and here it is called the hypothalamic portal vein system. Portal vein system. This is what the portal system, right? It's a vein, nothing but it's a blood vessel. It's a blood vessel, right? It's a blood vessel. Just once you see here, we have three. In this diagram, from this particular diagram, we have three nucleus: paraventricular nucleus, preoptic nucleus, and arcade nucleus of there, right? And what they releases? Obviously, they releases hormones, right? Some sort of hormones they releases. Same process here also happen, right? Some factors were required to generate the action potential in the paraventricular. Some other factor were required to generate the action potential in the preoptic. Some other factors we required to generate the action potentials in the arcade nucleus. Whenever the action potentials are generated individually in each nucleus, the particular hormones from each nucleus will be released. Now we will see what type of hormones are released from them, and later we will discuss what the factors are affected. If you see the paraventricular nucleus already released the oxytocin hormone into the neurohypophysis. Along with oxytocin, this particular paraventricular nucleus also releases some other type of hormones. Majorly, there are two types of hormones. Two types of hormones are released from the paraventricular nucleus. First one is what? The CRH. And the next one is TRH. CRH as well as TRH. Thyrotropin releasing hormone, TRH, thyrotrope releasing hormone, and the CRH, corticotropin releasing hormone. These two hormones are now running into the portal vein system, nothing but they are coming into the blood, right? They are coming into blood and they are going to some sort of cells, particular cells out there. There are some certain cells, for example, here some particular cell is there, a responsible cell is there. Now CRH is coming, corticotropin releasing hormone is now entering into the portal vein system and it's coming to the cell, particular cell. What is the cell? It is called corticotrope. It's very important. Corticotrope, very important as well as very easy also. The hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone coming from paraventricular nucleus and it is entering into the portal vein system and it is triggered by, this particular hormone is triggered by, taken by the corticotrope cell. Corticotrope, the cell is called corticotrope. So what this corticotrope do generally? By the action of CRH, corticotropin releasing hormone, which was taken by corticotrope, and it further releases two types of hormones. It releases two types of hormones. What are those? First one is the alpha MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone. Melanocyte, right? There are many types out there. In this alpha, right? Alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone, and one more ACTH. ACTH, we already know that what is the abbreviation of ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, right? So ACTH and alpha MSH, these two particular hormones are released by the corticotrope. Whenever this corticotrope is subjected to the corticotropin releasing hormone. Very simple, right? So here the releasing hormone is there, CRH. That CRH entered into the portal vein system. That is entered into the corticotrope cell, particular cell, and it releases two types of hormone. That is alpha MSH and one more ACTH. Okay, that is fine. And one more hormone is left here. One more hormone remaining, right? This is what the TRH, thyrotropin releasing hormone. thyrotropin releasing hormone, it is also entering into the portal system and is going to other type of cell. It is going to another type of cell. This particular cell is called thyrotrope. This is the first one is the corticotrope and the second one is the thyrotrope. Right, thyrotrope. What generally it do whenever it going to the thyrotrope? It releasing the hormone called TSH. Thyroid stimulating hormone. Right? It is called thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. Thyroid stimulating hormone is generally secreted from the thyrotrope whenever it is subjected to thyrotropin releasing hormone. Very simple. Here is the releasing hormone coming to particular cells and releasing responsible hormones. Okay, these two completed. And here one more nucleus is there, that is called a preoptic nucleus. This preoptic nucleus also, here also what the synaptic knob is there, here also synaptic knob. From this synaptic knob we one type of hormone releases, that is called GnRH. GnRH, you already know that gonadotropin releasing hormone, right? GnRH stands for gonadotropin releasing hormone. This gonadotropin releasing hormone also enter into the portal vein system and it's also go for one particular cell over here. This particular cell is called gonadotrope. Very simple. Gonadotrope. This is corticotrope. Why cortical? That means corticotropin releasing hormone. Cortico, same name. Thyrotrope. Thyrotrope, why? Because thyrotropin releasing hormone. This is gonadotrope. Why it is gonadotrope? Because gonadotropin releasing hormone acts on that. So that's why this gonadotrope cell, whenever the GnRH comes and activate the gonadotrope, it releases two type of hormones. What are the two types of hormones? One is FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and one more is LH, luteinizing hormone. Right? And when I'll tell you here. For suppose if gonadotropin releasing hormone releases in a heavy amount, right? In a heavy amount, LH will be releases. Luteinizing hormone will be releases. Otherwise, if the gonadotropin releasing hormone releases in a lesser quantity, FSH will be releases. Very simple, right? If the gonadotropin releasing hormone is secreted into the gonadotropin in a high amount, right? In a heavy amount, LH luteinizing hormone releases. Otherwise, if it is released in the lesser manner, lesser the amount, FSH will be releases. And this is also complete. And we'll see the last one, that is what the arcuate nucleus. From this arcuate nucleus again, from the synaptic knob of arcuate nucleus again, two types of hormones are releases. Generally those are GHRH. And one more is what? PIH. What those are? GHRH and PIH. Gonadotrope, it's a growth hormone releasing hormone. Gonadotrope already completed, right? Gonadotropin releasing hormone coming from the preoptic. Now we are at the arcuate nucleus, right? From this arcuate nucleus, we have GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone. Growth hormone releasing hormone. Every time releasing hormone is common. Releasing hormones are coming from the hypothalamus. If you observe carefully here, GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone. Gonadotropin releasing hormone. Corticotropin releasing hormone. Thyrotropin releasing hormone. That means every time releasing hormones are coming from hypothalamus. Right? Now we are at GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone, and one more is what? PIH, prolactin inhibiting hormone. Prolactin inhibiting hormone. These two are also entered into the portal vein system. First we will talk about GHRH. Now the GHRH coming and activate one cell is called somatotrope. What is the trope here? Somatotrope, I already told you. Corticotrope, thyrotrope, gonadotrope, right? This is what the somatotrope. Somatotrope, right? Yeah, this particular cell, somatotrope, which receives GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone, and it is also shows growth of bones or etc. like that. Okay, and the last PIH, prolactin inhibiting hormone. This prolactin inhibiting hormone is coming to the portal vein system and activate one cell called lactotrope. This is lactotrope. This particular lactotrope is released into the PIH, prolactin inhibiting hormone. It is released into the portal vein system, then it's carried to the lactotrope and it releases lesser quantity, right? Lesser quantity of prolactin inhibiting hormone releases prolactin hormone. prolactin. This is prolactin inhibiting hormone. It is prolactin hormone, right? So prolactin also called dopamine, right? Prolactin also called the dopamine hormone, right? So these are the hormones which are coming from the hypothalamus to the pituitary gland. That means here various type of releasing hormones, when they are getting the action potential, right? They releases into the here portal system or into the blood here. So these are the complete information about the hypothalamic and pituitary axis. Here some of the factors. What are the factors which are responsible for to generation of impulses or action potential here? If you talk about the CRH here, okay, hyperglycemia or a fever, those are the reason. Those are the reason to generate the action potential over here. And this is gonadotropin releasing hormone. Gonadotropin releasing hormone also, it is about the blood glucose will be increases. And GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone. Less amount of fatty acids in the blood, low amount of glucose in the blood, or high amount of amino acids in the blood are required. They are cause for the action potential generated in the arcade nucleus. And pH, prolactin inhibiting hormone. Same here also, the birthing process ejaculation will be create the impulses in the arcade nucleus, right? And this is the class. I hope you understand. Thank you.